Or who does? कौन गुरु नु सुनता हुंदा हमेशा? जिहड़ा कुछ गुरु कहंदा असीं मनदे कहंदे हाँ whatever the guru says we're going to do it. Who does that? I don't.
We may listen, but we don't follow.
Absolutely, yeah. We listen, but it's just like lip service, isn't it?
And when we go,
That's it. We forget about it. Then we're not interested anymore, है ना? But does the guru talk to us? Guru साडे नाल गल करदा? Does why guru talk to us? किसी ने रब देखा आते? किसी ने रब? Has anyone seen why guru or a खाल को? किसी ने नहीं देखा आते? रांदी गला रस्सी कहने रब सारे पासे है. Don't we say that God is everywhere? Isn't it? So how come we haven't seen God? When we say God is everywhere, we keep on saying God is everywhere. If you ask your friends, they say Rab is everywhere. Okay, chalo. If God is everywhere, किन्ने देखा Rab ने? कभी सोचा, have you seen God? God is everywhere, but then we say, oh, we haven't seen Him. किन्ने नहीं Rab देखा? वो भी जवाब नहीं है. See, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? When I ask you, have you seen God? You haven't. Have you not seen God? You still haven't. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? So we try to understand why are we here? What are the questions? What are we in reference to God? Hana? Okay, does God talk to us? Does He?
Yeah.
किधर आपने गाल की थी तो ना? If as God is anyone कोई हैगा ते who God has talked to? हाँ जी.
Just a few minutes ago with the Hukamnama.
Yeah, through the Hukamnama, Guru Sahib is talking to us, है ना? So no one has ever spoken to God here. तुसी कदी रब नाल गल की तुसी कहंदे रब सारा कुछ तुहाडा सुनदा है ना? तुसी admit कीता ना? You said God listens to us, है ना? Because we don't listen to Him all the time, we forget, but God listens to us all the time, right? So if there's someone listening to us, are we talking to Him? Or are we just like imagining कोई चीज़ हैगी है? साडा विश्वास है क्या? Do we really truly believe that there's something out there that we're talking to? Or are we just asking questions just for the sake of it? And we're not too sure whether we'll get answers or not. Okay, now I can't pull this jacket. I think we're going to have a battle now. Yeah? Does God listen to us?
we come here with the expectation that God will listen to us, don't we?
Yeah. But we're not too sure whether He'll listen to us, isn't it? It's like...
I would hope that God does listen.
Yeah, it's like the story of the Pind in India, and it didn't rain for a long while. And it hadn't rained, and everyone was like, okay, what do we do? And so all the farmers got together and said, look, let's go to the local Gyani, Granthi. We'll get him to come with us, and we'll ask him to do ardas. So they all got together, the whole Sangat, went together, went in front of the bar, said, sorry, it was an open field. They thought, okay, we'll talk to God directly in the open field. And they're standing there, and the Granthi does ardas, and they finish, and everyone is happy, and there's a guy who walks around, and they call him a pagal guy, because he was mad in the head. And he's just walking around, and he's looked at the whole thing, he's laughing at them and said, you idiots, what you doing? And they're all like, why are you laughing at us? You're a mad person. He said, okay, you think I'm mad? He said, you guys did ardas to Guru Sahib, where are your umbrellas? If you had full faith that Guru was going to give you rain, why didn't you carry umbrellas? Isn't it? I think that's what we're like, isn't it? We think Guru is going to listen to us, but then we're not too sure, so we don't carry the umbrella because, hey, hang on, is he going to give us rain or not? We're not too sure about that. But anyway, how does God talk to us? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਰੱਬ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ he doesn't talk to us? He also talks to us. One of the ways that God talks to us is through written word. Can you see this? That's why I asked you to come closer because it'll be easier for me. Through written word. Yeah? Written word is actually the worst form of communication. Now you're going to wonder, hang on, how can you say it's the worst form of communication when Gurbani is all in written word? Actually, people do misuse Gurbani as well. I'm sure you know about that. Where people will translate Gurbani in their own ways and say, actually, that's what Gurbani is saying, but we don't believe in that. We believe this is what Gurbani is saying. I'll give you a good example. I used to have a guy working with me, a Polish bloke. His name was Shemek. I've said the word Shemek. I'm going to ask you to come and write. Who wants to come and write down that word? Go on, Pendy. Just what you heard, yeah. I said Shemek, yeah? That's his name. Just to give you an example how the written word is actually very wrong. So what I said is what you're going to write. Okay, so Penji thinks obviously that's what his name is, right? And that's, I said Shemek, right? This is what his name is. That's what his name is. That's how they say Shemek, and this is how she's written. So obviously, you know, I don't have a tissue, but if someone got a tissue, I could go just to rub this. Oh, thank you, Penji.
This is a clean one, by the way, something used.
Okay, so do you see how the written word is actually can be misconstrued, right? It can easily be misinterpreted. It's the worst form of communication. But what happens, for example, you go somewhere and suddenly maybe you're looking for a job or something and you see an advert in the newspaper. That's actually God speaking to you in a way as well. Because He made that opportunity of that advert appearing before you at that particular moment. Okay, so don't think God just talks by sending you a big, newspaper falling from heaven and, oh, this is written by God. No. There are other ways God will use to talk to you. Someone can send you a letter, a friend, or a stranger just giving you a note and saying, oh, hang on, this is, do you just want to have a read with this, And you look at it, you read it through, and it helps you. So that's God speaking to you as well in a different form, okay? Which is another way that God speaks to you. Any idea? Have you ever sat in a room, two people sitting in one room, and both of you are thinking, you know what, I feel like having ice cream. And your friend says, you know what, I was thinking exactly the same thing. Ice cream with chocolate. That's exactly what I was thinking. Has it ever happened to you? Yeah? Two people in the same room thinking the same thing. Sometimes when you're in a situation where it's difficult to come to a conclusion or to an answer, suddenly out of nowhere you get an answer coming to your head. That's actually also God speaking to you. Okay? Through thoughts. Okay? So a thought is another form of communication. I can't seem to get a black pen which would make it easier. Okay? So thought is another way that actually Vaheguru talks to us. Some thoughts come into your head, you get answers, and then you know what to do. Okay. Which is another way that God talks to us?
Through dreams.
Sorry?
Dreams, when you're dreaming.
Through dreams? Yeah. Dreams, thoughts, very similar kind of thing. Dreams probably when you're asleep, thoughts when you're maybe still awake. Another way that actually Vaheguru talks to us is through experience. Now, two people go on a roller coaster ride. You see the roller coaster ride again? You know, it goes up and down, but then sir andar hunda te lattar andar hundiya, tid pata nahi andar ki karda hunda andar ta ulti aandi hundi kadi kadi. You go, two people go on the same roller coaster ride. Ek bande nu bahut maza aanda, kanda sab to badhiya ride. I'll never, forget this ride. And the person sitting next to them says, the worst ride of my life, I'll never go again. Has it happened to you? Right? Two people, same experience, different perspective. They both went up, they both came down. When the heads went this way, the both heads went this way, the legs flew this way. Right? Through experience. How many times people go to India, for example, they go to Gurdwara or even just a place like this and they say, I went there and I felt something. You experience something. Now, you can't describe experience. Can you? You can't. That is also actually God talking to you as well, through experience. Sometimes you go somewhere and you experience something. That is also God talking to you. Okay, so God talks to us through experience as well. Alright? The reason why I'm telling you all this is because, remember, words are very limited. Jede word are, they're limited. We don't have endless number of words. They're limited. Whereas Vaheguru is unlimited. You cannot use all the words in the dictionary to describe Vaheguru. You'll still be left really short. That is why God talks to us through other forms. An experience cannot be described or be explained until you yourself experience it, isn't it? Sometimes you experience something and you tell your friend, look, I can't tell you what it is. You just go and do it yourself. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪੇ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰੋਗੇ through experience. Another way that God talks to us, and this is the best form that actually God talks to us through, is this. How many of you can remember the day when you were small, yeah? And your mom made a chocolate cake, and you went to school, or, and she said, okay, you know what? You're not going to eat this chocolate cake until we all come back home and your brothers and sisters come back home. And you know what you did? Mom is gone. You went there, you dipped your finger in the chocolate cake, you licked it, isn't it? Now only you know you did it. And then when mom came back home, she's like, okay, hang on, did you have the chocolate cake? No, I didn't. I never touched it. I swear, I promise, I never touched it. And there's a big, finger mark in there. Obviously it's your finger and she knows it's you. But you deny, isn't it? Deny everything. Yeah? But yet inside you, there's a voice that always tells you, you know what? What you are doing is not the right thing. But that voice never stops you. It will still let you experience what you're experiencing. It will never stop you. But it will always alert you. It will bring a flag up. Hello, you shouldn't be doing this. It's a naughty thing. All of you, probably, including myself, have done something in our lives that only we know about. Our mom and dad doesn't know about. Our brothers and sisters don't know about. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. And one other person knows it. Who is that? God knows and we know. And nobody else knows, isn't it? Or is there someone who's not done something like that? I'm sure we all have. At one time in our lives, you don't have to tell me, I'm not going to ask you what it is. You all know what you've done, okay? But there's a flag that came up and said you shouldn't be doing this. That thing, what is it that's telling you not to have done that? Or alerting you all the time? Is it your conscience? Is it your mind? No. It's your soul. It's your Atma. Because your Atma, which is your soul, will never lie to you. No matter what you do, your Atma will never, ever, ever lie to you. It will always speak the truth. Why? Because that Atma and Paramatma, you know what Paramatma is? The big soul, Vaheguru, is made of the same thing. You, your Atma and Paramatma is exactly the same thing. All of you here are Atma Jeevs here. All of you are part of Vaheguru. Okay? That Atma bit of you inside is Vaheguru. Has anyone seen Vaheguru? Have you seen Vaheguru? Okay, you haven't understood. The Atma bit of you and Paramatma is the same. Man to Jyot Swarup hai, apna mool pachan, isn't it? Guru Sahib says, you mind. Why don't you realize that your soul is actually the same of Paramatma? You're the same thing. Okay? There's no difference. Now, I don't want you to go home or somewhere else and say, oh, I'm God now because Bhai Sahib says I'm Atma and I'm like God. No. A single individual will not make God. Collectively, we can make God. Okay? All of us together, everything can make God, but not an individual person. Okay? Has anyone seen God? Have you seen God?
It's inside us.
Everything makes God. Be it physical or non-physical. There's nothing that this is through feeling. Okay? Feeling is the last way that God actually talks to us. Imagine like a baby, yeah? If a baby is hungry, the mother will know. Even if she's shopping somewhere, she'll easily know that my baby is hungry right now and needs to be fed. How? How does the baby communicate to the mother? A baby never lies, yeah? But they communicate with us, isn't it? Some babies will never go to certain people, but they'll always go to someone else. Why? Because of their feelings, how they feel when they're according to someone else's, behavior towards them. They'll either feel they can go to them or they'll feel they can't go to them. So feeling is the best way that Guru Sahib talks to us, Vaheguru talks to us. And your feelings will never lie to you. Start listening to your feelings. They'll never lie to you. And what's even more amazing, they'll never stop you from doing what you want to do. Because your soul will never stop you from doing, even if they're bad things, it will let you do them. But it will always remind you you shouldn't have done that. That is why Vaheguru speaks to us through feeling. It's the best way. You'll never make a mistake. Why? Because your Atma and Paramatma is the same thing. Your Atma is love, isn't it? You love your Atma, don't you? We also call Vaheguru love, isn't it? We love Vaheguru, don't we? If your Atma is love, love never lies, does it? I'm sure once in your life you've always told someone you love that. I love you so much, honestly. Truly. So your Atma will never lie to you. Start believing in it. Start listening to it. Start trusting your Atma. It will always speak to you and tell you the right thing. Okay? Any questions so far? Are we following or am I too fast? Are we understanding? Okay. Have you seen God? Have you seen God? You have, isn't it? Everything around you is God. What doesn't exist that isn't God? A single thing on its own is not God. But everything together makes God. Now, what am I trying to say here? Imagine there's a big circle like this here. Now I just want you to imagine, okay? Can you imagine? Can you use imagination? Is there anyone here who can't imagine? If you can't, we'll try and help you, okay? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਸੋਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. Okay, imagination use ਕਰਨੀ ਹੁਣ. Imagine there's a circle that exists, yeah? And there's nothing that exists outside this circle. Nothing. Even your ideas about a green monster with 10 eyes and 15 legs and 20 wings. Imagine that exists. And imagine all that exists inside here. Can you imagine that? So anything that you think exists outside here doesn't, because it will be inside here. Okay? Now I want you to imagine yourself every day sitting at home and saying, I'm nice, I'm kind, I'm generous. Are you generous? You like to think so. Are you kind? You hope so, isn't it? Yeah? I mean, secretly we all think we are nice. Come on. Everyone here thinks I'm the best and I'm the kindest and I'm the greatest and we all know that. We all are, guilty of that little, self-fulfilling pleasure. That we are the best in whatever we do. And it's true. There is no one else like you. You are unique. You are special. You are the best that God made of yourself. Don't love yourself too much. That you start forgetting who you really are. You might think you're the only one who's existing. No, you're not. Everyone else exists as well, together with you. So imagine you're at home and you think you're generous. How will you become generous? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਬੈ ਕੇ ਸੋਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ generous ਹਾਂ. Imagine you're sitting on your sofa watching telly, EastEnders and saying, I'm generous, I'm generous. Will that make you generous?
No.
How do you become generous? How do you become kind?
By sharing it, by...
When I go outside into the world and I have something which she needs and I give her, by that action of doing some action, that's when I'll become kind, isn't it? Or generous. I won't just become kind and generous sitting on my sofa and just, eating crisps all day. That doesn't make me generous or kind. No, until you do an action. Okay? So imagine this circle is just this dot now, for example. Imagine this thing tells itself, okay, I know I'm generous. We all know we are generous, isn't it? We all know we are kind. Imagine this circle sits at home and thinks, okay, I'm really kind and generous. And I know everything. I am everything. Nothing else exists. It's me, 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 me. How will it experience itself? Can it?
No.
How will it know it is generous? Until it does an action, isn't it? Correct? So how does this thing decide it is generous? Imagine Akal Purkha. Vaheguru existed, isn't it? Before time. There was only one thing that existed, that's Vaheguru. Imagine this is Vaheguru. How can Vaheguru experience himself? If Vaheguru is all there is. Have you ever thought? Vaheguru apne aap ko kidda mehsoos kar sakda, main ki cheez hai, main changa hai, main mara hai, main aa hai, main kidda karuga? There should be a way, isn't it? So this thing decides, okay, there's no other way except me. I'm the only one that exists. And the only way I can be able to experience myself is by dividing myself into equal parts of the same thing. You understand that? Equal parts of the same thing. So this thing becomes all this. Suddenly, all these things start existing at the same time. Okay? You understand that? You've heard of the Big Bang Theory? Big Bang Theory kadi suni hai? Like when the world started at one point and there's a big flash and everything started happening. That's the Big Bang Theory. When God decided to experience himself, suddenly everything emanated from that one particle that was God to everything, and the Big Bang occurred at that time. Okay? So suddenly, at that moment, something was here and something was there. What happens when something is here and something is there? What do you call this in between?
Distance.
Je tusi ਉੱਥੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ. What do we call in between us?
Distance.
Space? What is space? ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ space ਆ ਹਨਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ. This space. What space? Who can describe space? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ space ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ. ਕਿਹੜੀ space ਆ? What is there something between you and me wherever you are? ਕੁਝ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ? Is something connecting me with you wherever you are in the world? Or is it just space, nothingness? You guys haven't thought about this, have you? Am I catching you out now here? Because I'm making you think a little bit deeper. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ, what is in between us? There's space. This is where time was created. Because time is a relative thing. Isn't it? Gurbani says as well, who knows when actually time started? Who knows? Time is a relative thing. For something to be here and then to be there, there has to be space in between. Isn't it? So you have the past, present, and future. These are three things. They exist at the same time. They're always linked together. There's no, what's the present? Who can describe the present? Who knows what the present is? Now? That was 2 seconds ago. What's the present? It's a second ago. What's the present? Do you get what I'm trying to say? As soon as you give the answer, it's already gone into the past. So present is a continuous thing, isn't it? Okay? It's not a standardized or now only. But the greatest moment in your life is now. The present. Forget about what you've done in the past. That doesn't matter. That's gone. You can't change that. The greatest moment in your life is the present, which is now. Okay? Hold on to that. This is the best you're ever going to be so far. You can only improve on that or make it worse, depending on which direction your perspective is looking at. Okay? Alright, so suddenly, time was created because something had to be here. I'm sorry, I can't be able to get a good marker. Just trying to see if there's a... So we had here. See what else. So suddenly we had here and there. Yeah? And the space in between, okay? So time was created at that moment. Okay, so you understand how the Big Bang Theory came into place? And time was created because it's a relative thing. You can only be, if someone asks you how far are you from London, what answer will you give them? How far are you from India? 5,000 miles, 6,000 miles? Something like that, yeah? But it's a relative thing, isn't it? I won't be as far from India if I'm sitting somewhere in Moscow, will I? That will be nearer. So time is a relative thing, okay? And space and distance. It's a relative from one point to another. The greatest thing that Waheguru ever gave you is relationships, by the way. Okay? Do you know why? Because here and there are related, isn't it? Remember, it all came from the same thing. Here, there, made of the same thing, but different. That is why, when people keep on telling you, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji keeps on telling you, you are all made of the same thing. That is what Guru Sahib means. You are all made of the same thing that Waheguru is made of. What God is made of is exactly what you guys are made of. And so is this wall. And so is this carpet you're sitting on. And remember, what we try and call space, there's always a connection between me and you, no matter where you go in this universe. Because next to me, there's going to be a particle of air, and then another one, and then another one, and they're all connected up to you. Or the earth is going to connect me. In a similar way, we are connected to the whole of the universe. Okay? Remember that. That's very important to know. Don't think you're disconnected to any part of the universe. You're always connected to everything in the universe. All of you. Why? Because you're part of Waheguru. Okay? I think that's really, we've done great to be able to be part of Waheguru. Imagine how sad it would be or bad, if we were outside Waheguru. We wouldn't exist. So whatever you try and think that causes space and emptiness actually doesn't exist. There's always something in between us all the time. Which is why when Paisa was saying it's important to say Waheguru, remember when you say Waheguru, it just doesn't finish here. Saying Waheguru once goes through the whole of space, the whole universe, the entire universe. Not just here in these walls and then finishes, no. You say Waheguru, you're connected to the whole universe. The whole universe, he listens to you. Waheguru is the whole universe, he listens to you. Why even you saying Waheguru once? Imagine, what does Waheguru mean? Wonderful God. You're just telling God you're wonderful. I think that's a really good thing. Okay, so, thank you. Let's try these ones. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so time and space was created then, okay? Right.
Permanent.
And it?
With a permanent mark.
Oh, do you have, sorry,
Andy?
the whiteboard markers? I think these are permanent markers.
Oh, they're permanent ones. Oh,
Okay, anyways, I'll just go back to the ones I had before. Okay, so that is how time and space was created, okay? You understand that concept? Any questions so far? Anything you haven't understood? So are you any different from this wall? But you are, you look different. You're walking and this wall is stationary. Why are you different? Because it's easy to say I'm not any different, but you are different. Why are you different? Andy? Andy? We are humans. But we have agreed we all came from Waheguru, and Waheguru created everything the same, isn't it? So why are we different from everything else? Why are you different from your friend next to you? Mom and daughter sitting together, they look different.
Because of our experiences and in terms of our own life, our own pattern of life is very different to, we all haven't had the same lives, have we, the same experiences. So
That uniqueness is in every individual in this world. Sometimes you hear people saying, for example, I find really funny when people say things like, don't worry, God is listening. And you're thinking, hang on, is it because you're saying this that you think God is listening, or He listens anyway, regardless of you saying this or not? Isn't it? Or when you say, I'm special, or I'm the only one, you could say it out of ego, that there's no one like me. But you know what? Actually, you're so right. There is no one else like you in this universe. That's the truth. There is no one else like you. You're unique. All of you here, you're special. So you can't say I'm not like them because of, you are special anyway. The reason why we all look different is because of what constitutes us, what makes us. You've heard of atoms, yeah? Atoms, you know what about atoms, yeah? Whatever is in an atom is exactly the same in everything in the whole universe. The only reason why it's different is because of the mass. Some have got like 3 or 4 protons, some have got 5, 6, it depends what the mass is. That's what makes us different. Okay, but intrinsically, imagine it's like this, to make it simple for you to imagine. Lego, have you seen pieces of Lego? Imagine we are made of the same piece of Lego. The block particle, imagine it's just one square with 4 holes in it. We are all the same as those Lego pieces, except some Lego pieces are combined in a different way, and some look different. Some are many, some are 20, some are 30, some are 21. And they're all different. None of them is the same. That is why we look different, but we're made of the same Lego piece. Waheguru is made of the same Lego piece as well. Okay? So basically we're the same thing. Okay. Now, I'm going to divert a little bit here and maybe try and engage into a two-way conversation. We have, on one hand, we say Guru Nanak came into this world to get rid of the darkness, right? So imagine on one side we have light. Everyone knows light, yeah? What's the opposite of light? Darkness? Agreed? Everyone agrees? Unanimously?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So on the other side we have darkness, right? Okay, on one side we have, let's say, light and darkness. Okay, let's just stick to light and darkness here. We've all agreed that there's nothing, the opposite of, light is darkness, correct? Okay. Imagine let's give another scenario, for example. Yeah? Imagine something is hot. What's the opposite of hot? Cold? One thing is hot, the other one obviously is cold, isn't it? You guys are now changing me now because I'm going to start believing these things. So one thing is hot, the other side is cold, correct? Imagine on one side you've got love. What's the opposite of love? Hate? Okay. So we all agree on these things, correct? Anyone has any objection here? Ek paase is light, the other side we've got darkness. On one side is hot, the other side is cold. One side is love, the other side is hate. Can we see this? Do we all agree these are true things? Mande nanu? Vishwashna? Without any doubt, I want you to get this inside your heart. You agree with all this, yeah? Okay. Do we think God is light? Who believes God is light? Rab Jota? As you can say, Rab Jota. Gurbani can say Rab Jota. Rab Jota, do you believe God is light? Do you then believe that if God is light, there is an opposite to God being light called darkness?
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear that bit. You said.
We say God is light, right? Rab is light, isn't it? It's like light, Roshni, isn't it? Natural. So if one side is light, and that exists, does it mean we say the opposite is darkness, right? So does that mean that there's an opposite of God on the other side, which is no God? Does that happen?
Are you saying is there a place where there's no God? Is that what you're saying?
No, not a place. If this side is light and light is God, what's the opposite?
Yeah, the dark where there's no God.
So where is that place? We've drawn a circle here. Where is that place where there's no God?
God is everywhere.
God is everywhere. So can darkness exist? How can? Who can describe darkness? We can describe light, yeah? The sun, stars, whatever, shining stuff, we can see too much, hurts the eyes. Who can describe light? Darkness, sorry. Can you describe darkness?
We can't see anything.
Lack of light.
That means problem with your eyes. because the dog can actually see in the dark, isn't it? Or the bat can, which uses other senses, but other animals can see in what we call, darkness. So it can't be, it's just that God gave us this kind of eyes, so, we can't see in less light.
I think darkness is individualised. For me, darkness would be destruction if things aren't going right in my life or, personal matters.
Yeah.
So I see that as darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Now we're going more towards the emotional side on that, with describing darkness as passing that with yourself. But I'm purely talking about the existence of light. This is light. What is the opposite of light? Is it darkness?
Lack of light.
Huh? Is it darkness or is it lack of light?
Lack of light.
No. Actually, the opposite of light is not darkness. It's the absence of light. It doesn't mean if we can't see that is dark. There is, I'm sure even now, scientists know that deep down in the sea, there are some animals that can still see and look around. Why? I mean, it's so dark in there. How can they see? Surely there must be a way. So if God is light, there can't be something that cannot be not God. So darkness does not exist. The opposite of, and you're lying to me when you all agreed it's darkness, because it's not darkness. The opposite of light is less light. Okay? What's the opposite of hot? Huh?
No
What
heat.
is it?
Lack of heat.
Now I'm making you think now, isn't it? Because I'm giving you a clue here, isn't it? So we said the opposite of light is less light, and the opposite of hot is definitely not cold. Because someone coming from Saudi Arabia now here will be like, wow, this is like really, really freezing. Whereas someone coming from Sweden or some place like Canada coming here will be thinking, oh my God, it's too hot. This is like summer, right? Because it's, oh, thanks. I think we got there finally. Yeah? So hot, what's the opposite? It's less hot, isn't it? Yeah, because everything is relative. It's got to be warm, isn't it? It can't be cold. Everything is relative to something else. Something might be hot for you. I'm sure, those who are married couples, how many times you had a fight in the bedroom? It's too hot, no, I need the blanket. No, it's too cold, I don't need the blanket. Take it off me, no, I need it. Fights or temperature. Bibia normally have this problem, yeah. They'll always want you turning the thermostat up a little bit more. Thandi lag diya. The temperature. Yeah. My wife is like that. And I'm telling her, no, it's same 21 degrees, it should be fine. No, I'm feeling cold, put it up. That's what, naturally, everyone has got different, tendencies. So, the opposite of hot is not cold, it's what?
Less hot.
Anyone seen a thermometer?
Yeah.
You've seen a thermometer, yeah? Oh, when the mercury goes up and down, is the mercury different here than when it is here? Or is it the same mercury?
Same.
When it's cold, it's the same mercury, isn't it?
It's just rising up and down, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when it's cold, it's the same mercury, isn't it? Okay, so we've established light is less light, yeah? And hot is less hot, isn't it? Now let's go to love now. I think this is where it becomes interesting. What's the opposite of love now?
Less love.
Less love? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you something. 99% of the world, if you ask them, what's the opposite of love, will tell you hate. And I'll tell you one thing, they're lying. It's not hate. It's impossible to hate a stranger. It's easier to fall in love with a stranger. Someone walking on the street, if I tell you, hate them, you'll wonder, why? Are you mad? Why should I hate that person? But it will be much easier to fall in love with them. That's why they call it falling. So you can't control it. Just head over heels. You go into it and you're like, I'm like, start behaving like a little baby, like you don't know what's going on. Falling in love. You read books, they talk about that kind. Falling in love with your guru. Suddenly, out of nowhere you think, oh my God, this is it. This is what I want. So what's the opposite of love? It's not hate. Hate is the worst form of actually energy which you can bring upon yourself. It has got irreversible consequences on your body. Yeah? Anyone heard of this word? You know what this is? Have you ever heard of this word? Yeah? What is this?
Disease.
Disease? Where do you think they got this word from?
Lack of ease.
Lack of ease, isn't it? Disease is actually formed of two words, dis-ease. When you're not easy in the mind, it starts showing on your body. And then you start getting all this bamaria happening to you because you've not set your mind straight and controlled it. Yeah? Man jite jag jit, isn't it? Guru Sahib says that, isn't it? When you control your mind, you control the whole universe. Hate is like that. When you start hating someone, you're drawing that energy towards yourself, negative energy all the time. It is absolutely unnecessary to hate someone. You'll cause yourself more problems and you'll fall ill because of that. Stress, depression, all these other problems will be even worse and worse. They'll manifest more and more inside you. So never hate someone. Hate is the worst form of, killing yourself. Don't do that. So, if hate is not the opposite of love, what is that?
I would say no love rather than less love.
Right? Less love?
No love.
Who thinks?
No love.
No love? How can it be no love?
You want an opposite. Yeah.
What do you think? Anyone? Any ideas?
It will be indifference.
Indifference?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. You know when a mom sends a child to the school, what does she do? Bacha school chal jata hai na? The mom is happy for my child to go and learn something in school, because obviously the child will be educated, he'll learn respect, how to talk to people, learn how to do stuff and all that, and maybe get a good job. Why? Because the mother loves the child to go to school. But at the same time, there's something that happens. How many of you can remember, now I'm not endorsing this, but I just want you to remember if it has happened to you in your lives, yeah? How many of you can remember the first time you told someone you love them so much? What happened? At that particular moment when you told them, I love you, what happened? Sorry? Yeah. What happened? And what did you expect? Imagine you go to someone for the first time ever, you tell them, I love you. What happens? At that same moment, you might get a slap on your face. You fear rejection, isn't it? Because at that very moment, the person can say, hang on, I just thought you're my sister or my brother. How come you look at me like that? You're supposed to be my bhai, my man. What's wrong with you? How treated you like, my son or, my whatever, blood sister or blood brother? Rejection. At that very instant, the same thing comes to you in your head, rejection. You fear. You love and fear at the same time. When the mother sends a child to school, she loves the fact that my child will learn, but she is also fearful that, I hope he doesn't fall off like climbing a tree. I hope he doesn't get hurt. I hope he doesn't, some toy doesn't bash into his head or something. Yet there's nothing you can do about it because you're at home and the child is in school. There's nothing you're going to do about it. In the same way, when God sends us here into this world, doesn't matter what we do. Now, I'm not saying go out and start stabbing people. That's not what we're going to do. That's the wrong thing. But God has given us everything here. We don't have to go looking for it somewhere else. It's all already here, given to us. So the opposite of love is fear. Right? What's the opposite of light? Less light. What's the opposite of hot? Less hot. What's the opposite of love? You guys are not good students at all. Let's do it again. What's the opposite of light?
Less light.
What's the opposite of hot?
Less hot.
What's the opposite of love?
Fear.
See, you're not good students. If I was marking your paper, you don't fail. Shall I tell you why? Because you haven't understood what I've been trying to tell you. They are not opposites. You said light here, less light. How can it be an opposite? Come on. You're supposed to be good students here. What's the opposite of light? Dark. No, we cancelled darkness before. I mean, we're in the next chapter now. I can go over it again if you want. What's the opposite of light?
Absence of light.
Is there an opposite to light?
There shouldn't be an opposite to light.
There is no opposite. There is no opposite. I keep on saying opposite, but it's the same thing at a different degree. Love and fear is the same thing at a different degree. You remember I talked to you about the thermometer? The same mercury, it goes up and down. Same thing at a different degree. Okay? So these two things are not opposites. What are they?
Same.
They're all the same, but
Different
like
level.
It's the same thing at a different degree, which is why you had Singhs Bhai Singh, who can remember Bhai Singh? Yeah? So this is the only thing that exists in the world. On one side is love, on the other side is fear. Nothing can exist outside here. This is all Waheguru. Everything happens in Waheguru. Doesn't exist outside. So it can't be an opposite. Waheguru does not have an opposite. If God is love, he cannot have an opposite. Correct? It has to be something which is the same, but at a different degree. Bhai Singh, inside here. Other Shaheed Singhs inside here, being what? Chopped piece by piece by piece. Which direction are they looking at? That direction. Love. They're looking at love. We love it. God, you're doing it to us? Doesn't matter. It's your will. Tera pana. We're going to survive. We don't mind. It's what you're doing. It's fine. We're cool with it. They're looking at love. What about us? We're here. Big houses. Enough cars. Good families. Good jobs. But you know what we're thinking? Oh my God. Someone might come and rob my kids. Someone might come and, break into my house, take my things. My Ferrari is going to go. Oh my God. Constantly looking in this direction. Fear. Instead of just enjoying what we've got. Okay? So stop looking at fear. It's the same thing as love, but concentrate on love more. What you fear is what you attract. If you keep on fearing something, that thing will eventually happen to you. You're drawing it towards you all the time. It's like hatred, unnecessary. Not good for you, bad for your health. So love and fear is the same thing at a different degree, okay? Do you understand that? Now you're good students. You okay? So don't forget that love and fear is the same thing. When something happens like that, you tell someone you love them, at the same time you fear rejection. It's the same thing. Why do you send us here? So that we could learn something. We can't be apart from Waheguru because we are already inside the circle. The journey has already begun. Okay? It can never stop. Alright. Right. Couple of rules in life, maybe just to make life easy. Huh? Is there anything that exists outside here? No? Everything exists inside Waheguru, yeah? Okay. Is this one any different from the other one? This is me and this is you. Are me and you different?
Externally we are, aren't we? We all look different, like you said, but inside.
We're made of the same thing, right? Okay, so we might look different, but we're the same thing. So is this the same as that? It is, yeah? Because everything is made of the same, right? So we're not any different, okay? So remember, we are all one. Yeah? Simple life rules, yeah? We are all one thing, yeah? There's nothing that exists outside this, we're just one. Rule number 2. There's enough, okay? There's enough in this world. When Waheguru created us, gave us everything, stop being greedy. Stop fighting for oil because you think, oh, oil's going to run out. No. If we start using our resources properly, we'll have plenty in this world. Let's just learn to share. We don't have to go and raid other countries and start stealing stuff from them. Going to India and stealing their gems, or going to Africa and just looting the oil and stuff like that. No, we don't need to do that. There's enough. Waheguru has given everything which is enough for all of us. Right. The third thing. See, Waheguru talks to you in different ways. All right. The third thing. You don't have to do anything. Have you ever done loving? Have you ever done caring? You've done caring? Have you ever done kindness? Have you done kindness? Yeah? You've done sharing? Yeah? You've done generosity? You guys have all done these things. Yeah? Have you done them? You agree? Put your hands up if you've done all these things. Who's done caring, kindness? Okay, you're lying. You can't do these things. Do you know why? Because you're not called human doings. They're called human beings. To do caring, you have to be caring first. To do loving, you have to be loving first. That's why you're called human beings, not human doings. So don't go somewhere and say, I'm a human being. No, you're not doing nothing. You don't have to do anything. Be that thing that you want to do. If you want to do loving, be a loving person. Love yourself, love everyone else. If you want to be a caring person, do caring, first be a caring person. He agrees with me. Yeah? Be a caring person. Okay? So stop trying to do things. Be those things that you're trying to do. Okay? No need to try and force yourself to do things. I was just joking that you're lying. Okay, so don't take me seriously on that. Alright? Okay, so try and be those things. Don't try and do them all the time, because we'll do as much as we want. People go in, big gurdwara and start giving donations, and that's all it is, a photo opportunity. You forget the little innocent man who just does so much in the background, in the kitchen, yeah? He'll clean the toilets, he'll do the kitchen, and he'll go home. He probably does more favor than you coming here, giving a donation of £1,000 and a photo opportunity. Click, click, I'm in the newspaper tomorrow. We forget about that. Okay? So, my next question. What's this?
Very valuable car.
That was a spoiler. It's not called a spoiler for no reason. It spoils everything. Okay, that's a car. Yeah? Who's got the car? Huh? Is it me or you? Sorry?
I'm saying the car sitting next to you. So
The car is sitting next to me, so I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Have I got it? So has me got it or you got it?
You have my car.
Who's got the car? Is this the same as that?
Yes.
Is me and you the same?
Yeah.
Yeah? So if me has got it, has you got it?
Yeah.
Well, we've agreed to share it.
Yeah.
Share it then now.
Well, I think you normally work with contracts at home. Okay, kids, here's a contract. Go to school in the morning. Sign up here. No, but if this is me and you, does me have the car or you have the car? You? Me has it? Or you have it? Difficult one, isn't it? Is there any difference between me and you? No. Stop looking at that other person with that really good gaddi. Remember, that is also you in a different form with that car. Change your perspective. You see this bibi with a nice suit. Stop giving her the eyes and say, oh, man, like that. Maybe that's how she was born like that with wonky eyes. I'm sorry, but that's what she looks like. She wasn't giving you the look, but that's what you thought. She's giving me the look. That's not what it is. She's got a nice dress. Thank Waheguru for her. Imagine that is you having that nice dress. That is me in a different form wearing that dress. Thank her. Thank Waheguru. Be happy for her. In the same way, when you see that drunkard sleeping on the street, that is also you in a different form. Help him out. Now, helping him out doesn't mean necessarily go and pick him up and give him a meal. No. You can donate to charities which help people like those, Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever. You can help in different forms, okay? You don't directly have to help, okay? You might get yourself into trouble, someone could stab you or something, but you can help in other forms, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah? So that is also you. So when you have this thing, remember the other person has it as well. Stop being jealous. Stop having envy. That is just you in a different form. Imagine it's them enjoying. When they're enjoying themselves with that thing, be happy for them. Imagine that's you enjoying yourself as well. Life will be easier for you that way. You will have less stress. You'll be happy for them. That's where all these other problems of the punch, chore and all, they come in. I thought that was a bit, deeper to explain. I thought it'd be easier for us to understand those punch, chore using this. Yeah? So this is me and you having the same thing. Learn to share. Your life, yeah? Have you ever thought what your life is like? I asked you a question in the beginning. So who are you guys? Do you know who you are?
God.
Who are you?
God.
You're a part of God, yeah?
Yeah.
You're all Atmas, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah? If anyone asks you, you say, I'm an Atma of God. It's an honest truth. But don't just say, I am the Atma of God, because you're not the Atma of God. There's others as well, bigger and massive than you. Party there can just bash you up, He's a bigger Atma than you, That's not what it is. We are all part of the same thing. Doesn't matter if you're Amritari or not Amritari. You've still got everyone has got exactly the same thing inside you. People sometimes think, these guys are Amritari, they look at the other people. And I agree. People get into that kind of mentality. They take Amrit and they think, that's it, I conquered everything, I am going to heaven. No, hang on, that's not a guarantee you're going to heaven. That only means you've just qualified to go to school. You've still got lots of work to do. There are so many other people who are not Amritari who've got really good things to do. But I'll give you something to think about. Imagine what your life is like. Have you ever thought what your life is like? Who's played computer games here? Computer game kid, Anyone played computer games? Put your hands up so it'll be easier for me to explain. Yeah? Call of Duty? I'm sure.
No, years ago. Not now.
Come on, admit it. I've played it with my kids. It's a nice game. or Halo. Yeah, it's a good game. We've all played computer games, right? Now, in a computer game, if you kill a few bears, what happens? Okay, you're standing here. That's the pathetic drawing of you and me. So we're there, and suddenly there are like 3 bears there, right? What happens when you kill these bears? And then you move a little bit forward. What happens? Suddenly there's like 5 more bears, isn't it? And then you go ahead, you kill them with your gun. You see another gun, you pick it up. If you play computer games, you know what it's like. Then you go ahead, and then something else happens. What I'm trying to explain to you is this. The computer game already knows what you're going to do even before you've done it. Isn't it? Before you do it, the game already knows all what your moves are. Okay, what I'm trying to describe to you is what free will and God's will is. Because people keep on thinking, have you got free will? Or are we doing what the Guru wants us to do? I'm just trying to help to explain this so we can understand ourselves better, right? So if you go and kill these bears, something else happens. The game already knows what you want to do. Our life is like that. It's like a computer game. Just trying to describe to make it easy for us to understand. Whatever you do, you can decide here today that I want to go to Brazil. Is anything going to stop you? No. What do you have to do? Maybe go to the bank, get some money out, buy a ticket, go to the airport, fly off. Who cares? Is it possible to do that? Very possible. Nothing's going to stop you. In a similar way, in a computer game, you could be shooting bears and then with a flick of a switch decide, oh, hang on, I want to go and drive a car. You press a button on the computer, boom, there you are driving a car. Zigzagging around streets. Possible. Similar in our life, we can decide whatever we want to do now. I'm not saying you just abandon your family and start going somewhere else in this world. No, don't do that, please. We are tied to other things as well. Worldly things which we have to fulfill as duties, parents, children. Okay? But in a computer game, the game already knows what you want to do even before you do it. If you open one door, the game has already planned everything for you after that door. Okay, so that is your free will. You choose to go into that door. When you go through that door, the game lets you makes you have other choices. Then you decide what you want to do, okay? Right. What is the limit to this computer game? There's always a limit, isn't it? I mean, come on, if there's no limit to this computer game, it would be a big, massive CD, isn't it? You're having problems shoving it into your CD-ROM drive. What's the limit in a computer game? Anyone know?
The final level.
Huh?
The final level.
That's the last level. You could start with the last level if you're good. I'll tell you what the limit is in a computer game. The total number of moves you can make. Those have already been programmed by the programmer, correct? They don't change. The total number of moves you can make are already in the game. You can't add any more or remove any more. They've already been set. Okay? What's the total number of moves that have been made in our lives? Who knows? What is the set thing that has been made into our lives which we can never change? Do you know? Yes. The number of breaths you take has been set by Vaheguru. Now, I'm not saying you start breathing slowly from tomorrow, yeah, because you want to live longer. It doesn't work like that. What it means is that the set number remains the same. You breathe slowly today, you breathe faster tomorrow, whatever. The total number will remain the same. It's written. That's your destiny. The computer game maker, the programmer, up there or down there, wherever it is, has made you like that with those number of breaths. When you fulfill your potential of the game and you reach the last level, that is it. Everything else just becomes an excuse on how to die and leave this world. Personally for me, it's no big deal dying. I think it's just I'll have fulfilled whatever God wanted me to do. I'll have done it. What hurts us most is what we could have done. That's why we normally cry when someone dies. But that number of games has already been written for you in our lives. So what happens when you play this game and you become very good at it? You played Halo 1. Which one did you play? Grand Theft Auto.
Halo.
Huh?
Halo.
Okay, you played one game. What happens after that, after you played one game?
You move through the game quickly.
Buy another game.
Exactly. You get, mommy, I want the next game. I want Halo 2 now. I'm like, come on, I want that. So mommy buys you another game. In a similar way, you've gone through life once. Now, all of you here are very lucky. Now, some of you might have realized that, but some of you might not have realized how lucky you are to have been born in the house of Guru Nanak. You don't know what kamai you've done. You don't know how much hard work you've done in your pichhle janam, in your previous game, that you have been given an opportunity now to understand Guru Sahib. You've been given the formula book on how to make that game work for you. That is how lucky you are. If you haven't seen it in that perspective, please go home tonight and thank Guru Nanak. Just say thank you, Guru Nanak, once. You are very lucky. All of you here, very blessed to have been given that opportunity. What happens when you get that life the second time, you get Halo number 2? What happens then? You finish that game quicker, isn't it? Why? Because you already know the bad moves. You already know if I go and do this, I'll be wasting my time. If I go and start killing bears on the mountain, it's not going to help me achieve my end goal. I'm wasting time. You become better in that game. You improve. That's like another life we've been given. That's why we hear about 84 lakh June. Your life keeps on recycling. You keep on getting lives and lives and lives. Another life and another life. Yeah? You keep on getting another life and another life until you become really good at it. Now imagine you keep on playing this game until you become really good. What will happen then? You become really good. Personally, if I become as good as the guy who's programmed it, I'll probably want to meet the guy who made it. Easy, isn't it? I want to meet the guy. I mean, these games are so lovely. I enjoy playing them. I enjoy this life because, you keep on giving me this life. So I want to meet you now. How do I meet this guy? You need a contact, isn't it? A number probably, an address. Isn't it? So you can communicate with the person. That is why it is important to take Amrit. Because when you take Amrit, the Panch Pyare will give you Namdrid. That is very important. When you take Amrit, the Panch Pyare will put their hands on your head and make you have Namdrid, which is important for you. Thus, your link with Vaheguru is established. You have to still work on that. That doesn't mean once they've done that, oh, that's it, I've already got the contact. No, you still have to work on that. That is why it's important for us to remember, even Guru Gobind Singh Ji had to take Amrit. Why? He was the Guru. For God's sake, he was the Guru. He made the Amrit. No, Akal Purkh made the Amrit. Guru Gobind Singh Ji had to also take that Amrit. That is how important taking Amrit is. To establish that contact with the Akal Purkh, my urge to all of you is, doesn't matter if this life is what you enjoy, play it. You'll still have Halo number 2 to come. You'll still have the next life. But don't forget this life. Don't forget what you're doing now. Whatever pragati and whatever, you're doing all these good things you're trying to do, it's important. I met a Guru Sikh once and he told me, you know what, you're doing all this part and you're doing all this, ardasa and all. You think they are for this life? He said, forget it. I said, what do you mean, forget it? He said, you think you're going to get like mukti now? Only if Guru Sahib agrees. He said, what's happening to you now? You've got to pay for all the past karams that you've done, all the bad stuff you've done. You've got to pay for them now. Which is why sometimes you'll go somewhere and you'll find Gursikhs doing a lot of Simran, doing a lot of Bhakti, but they're always suffering, and you're looking at them, why are they always like in problems and that kind of thing? It's because of their pichle karam, they're paying for them now. Make your karams positive. Don't make them negative. Make them positive. Don't look at other people. Look at yourself. You're exactly the same as other people, no difference. No one is any better, no one is any worse. Don't think someone is more special than you. You are all special. No one is more special than you. Okay? So we have to go out there and enjoy the game of love. How do you enjoy the game of love? We talked about love. How do you enjoy the game of love? If you really want to enjoy the game of love, truly I want to enjoy the game of love from deep inside you, give your head to the Guru. You will enjoy it. Any questions? Is it clear? Does it make sense? Or is it just like, did we learn something? Well, I hope so. You're good students. Any question? No one's got a question? Could be about anything. Don't fear, we're brothers and sisters. We'll talk to each other and share things, you know.
One question.
Anji.
How are we sure we passed through 8.4 million lives? That they say, so Churasi luck.
Okay. You got to understand one thing, yeah? Time is a relative concept. We normally think that, 84 lakh June, come on, how many millions of years, must that have been? Remember I told you what? The greatest moment you've got in life is what? What's the greatest moment you've got?
No.
Now, yeah? What do we call it?
Present.
We call it present, yeah? Do you know what present means?
Gift.
I'll tell you. It's formed of two words. Present. Whatever is happening to you now is what your Atma has already sent you that moment to experience now. That is your present by your Atma. Your Atma, your soul, is giving you this present now. A gift, present? That's what you're getting from your soul. Your soul is Vaheguru. Vaheguru is giving you that present. 84 lakh June might be a concept very difficult for us to understand because we look at it from a concept of time. Come on, this is so many years. But where a Akal Purukh is concerned, where the Absolute is concerned, Vaheguru and love, and that's it, there's no time. The greatest moment is just now. There are certain lives which, think about it this way, right? Think about it this way. Because I've thought about, for example, when you talk about people predicting the future, how can they know what the future is unless it's already happened? Isn't it? You can't predict the future unless it has already happened. It must have happened somewhere. For them to be able to clearly see this thing is going on, that thing must have been happening, correct? Yeah? Okay, it's a very difficult concept to try and explain that the only moment that exists is the moment of now. So you could be going through 84 lakh Junes within milliseconds. Yeah? But to emphasize it even more, that even wouldn't be my concern. My biggest concern would be, what am I doing with this life now? So what if I was a robber or a thief last time? Okay, I've realized I was a robber and a thief, and I did stuff to other people, maybe a murderer. What am I doing now about it? That's why the greatest moment of your life is now. I know I might not have fully answered your question about 84 lakh June, but 84 lakh June it can be a very speedy process or a very slow process, depending on how Akal Purukh wants to, make you go through it. But remember, life. The word life, yeah? The word love? the word life, the word freedom, and the word truth. They mean exactly the same thing in any sentence you put them. And the last one, who knows? How many times you've gone to your mates and said, yo, how's life? Have you ever done that? Have you done that? I'm sure you've done it. You know what you're actually trying to say? Who gives life? Who gives life? Come on, students. God. Do you know where the word God came from? Who knows where the word God came from? You don't know? Simple. When you have too many things which are all nice and beautiful and good, you put them together, you got to give it a name. Yeah? The word God is just a noun for good. It's as simple as that. Okay? So when things are really good and you collectively put them together, you give it a name. That name is God. These all four words mean exactly the same in any sentence. Freedom is absolute. Truth is absolute. The only truth that exists is Waheguru. Every other truth is going to change. Even your truth today will change to a different truth tomorrow. And it will still be the right thing for you. Only Waheguru doesn't change. Everything else changes. Yeah? Okay, so life is what God has given you. Okay? Make use of it. Think about what you're doing now. How are you using your life? Are you using it in a positive way? Are you helping people with it? Are you doing seva? Or are you just being selfish with yourself and just trying to, make yourself be good and not helping everyone else out? That's why coming to Sangat is very important, because Sangat helps you. Coming to Sangat will keep you in check. It will keep all your other, panchos in check. When you start doing something wrong, Sangat is going to tell you, hello, ki kari ja rahi hai tu? Raja started and then your mind goes somewhere else. You start doing similar, and you read Gurbani. Any questions? Don't be shy. Looks like you want to ask your question. Yeah, I thought maybe you wanted to try. Is it? Oh, sorry, I'm probably right. Okay, if I said anything you didn't understand, you could always ask me later on, or if I said anything wrong. Let me take the bad with me, and you guys just take the good, which Waheguru has blessed us with, Leave the bad with me, I'll sort it out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.